Venezuela has passed through a very interesting process for the last 20 years. I remember in 1998, when Chavez was a candidate for the presidency, many people didn't know him, even in the churches. And usually, when I go to Venezuela, and I have been doing this for 36 years now, when I go to Venezuela, one day we have this informal meeting with the pastors primarily, and they start asking questions. And in that convention in 1998, before the election, we sat down and they asked, do you know how the United States sees Chavez, Hugo Chavez Frias? And I said, well, they don't know him. They don't know who he is. They are kind of hesitant, and they are looking into the project that he's presenting, this Bolivarian revolution that he already was talking about, because he started the movement within the armed forces, a political movement, and then it became a political party. At the beginning, it was a coalition. So they said, we have this relationship with the churches in the United States, and we want to keep that relationship. But we also are very, as Pentecostals are here in this context, we are active in many levels in the country, politically and social movements. We want to be attentive to what Chavez is offering. And when the election came, it is known that more than 70% of Protestants in Venezuela voted for Chavez. It was a massive vote in favor of Chavez. And I would say to this day that the majority of Protestants in Venezuela are Chavistas. They are even active in the party. Now, one of the things that is happening in Venezuela is that the government and the revolution, which I say this is not Cuba, this is Venezuela. If Venezuela is going to go the socialist route, it's going to be through democratic processes. Recently, Bishop Gamaliel Lugo of the Pentecostal Union of Venezuela, he's pro-Chavista, but he always says, we have to be prophetic in the midst of this process. We have learned this from South Africa. We have to exercise our leadership within the context of what is going on. We are not surviving here. We live in Venezuela. We are part of this process. But when it is a time to raise issues, we will do it. We have done it in the past. But we are enthusiastic about all these health programs, all the educational programs, all the programs that the government has established for the elderly. The literacy campaign was a big success. We were involved in that campaign at the Pentecostal Church of Venezuela. And we look at this process and all these issues that are part of the revolution as positive signs of what we need in terms of justice and in terms of doing good for the people of Venezuela. We know that in any government and any system there is corruption. Many times we have seen this in our country, and probably the Bolivarian revolution is not going to be different. We hope it will be less corruption than at other times in Venezuela, but we will insist that from the north people should give us time to understand in the first place that this is our revolution. This is our democratic space. We will do it a la Venezolana, the Venezuelan way. We are not copying from Cuba, as many people say. To the contrary, we are supporting with our oil not only Cuba, but other countries. Even the U.S., communities in the U.S. received support from us. And I see that if we continue insisting on our own way of going in constructing our democracy, then we will do well. Now, we will have a position that is very strong in Venezuela. This is a pretty much divided country politically. We will hope that we also can offer an element of reconciliation. We have people in our congregations that are in the opposition. They are not our enemies. They are our brothers and sisters in Christ. And we encourage them to be part of the dialogue that we provide. Some of the pastors are not Chavistas. They are pro-opposition. They are pro-other political parties. And we hope that we will continue that dialogue. And we would like, I as a missionary would like to say my own word in this. I hope that the churches in the United States pray for the Venezuelan people. We, Disciples UCC, for many years have supported the churches in Venezuela. I hope that we continue doing this, as we call it, as a critical presence. There's a pastoral, prophetic dimension, and we can help in that process with our reflection and with our presence.